How you guys doing? So welcome to the episodes of champions that got synergy buffs. Should they get a buff on their own? So today we're looking at Iron Patriots. So let's look at his abilities. So his waking ability, he when he drops below 15%, he gains a regeneration and 50% power gain. After his suit burns out, he cannot not trigger armor up and armor break or stun and loses all bases armor. On the Arc Overload, Iron Patriot also gains an armor up, increasing armor rating by 1700.37. So this is, keep in mind, this is a rank 2 4-star. So that's his performance awaken ability. When attacked, 10% chance to gain an armor up buff. Special attack 1 has a 70% chance to inflict an armor break for 8 seconds. Special attack 2 is a 54% chance to inflict an armor break for 9 seconds. 74% chance to stun for 4 seconds. Special attack 3 has a 100% chance to stun for 4.75 seconds. So it's pretty much that's it. So he doesn't really have much going on by himself. Okay, doesn't have a lot of utilities, but he does have this powerful buff with Red Goblin. So let's look at it. So the question is he gonna be like gonna be really good with the Red Goblin synergy? So, my opinion, doing these episodes of champions that got synergy buffs, should they get a buff, is how are they with a synergy buff, right? If they get a synergy buff, they should be beyond OP. I don't know, beyond OP, but definitely OP at least, like because you have to rely on synergy for that person to be good. Like, without it, he's gonna that champion's gonna suck. So if you're gonna give somebody like this synergy to make him good, you gotta make him beyond OP because you need that extra space for your team. Whether that champion is good or not. In this case, it's Red Goblin, but he's not he's okay champion by his own. So in this case, Iron Patriot. So with Red Goblin synergy, so Arc Overload grants a Fury buff, increasing attack rating by 300% for 30 seconds. No longer burns out Iron Patriot's suit and can be reactivated after a 60-second cooldown. So that's a really nice thing to have. Not only he gains 300% attack for 30 seconds, his suit no longer burns out and you can reactivate it after 60 seconds. So definitely a very strong buff, I think, for what do you call that, Iron Patriot. But is it really good enough? So when you look at Iron Patriot on his own, he's not that good. So this buff just makes him an okay character. If he was an okay character, an average character, and he got this synergy buff with Iron Red Goblin, I think he would be decent. He would become god tier with this. But even with this synergy, he's not even god tier. So he should be at the very least an okay champion, and then makes him a god tier with a synergy, in my opinion. So the only thing I also had an issue with this is uh it's only for 30 seconds. Yes, there is a cooldown after 60 seconds, right? There's plenty of champions with synergies that can actually do this. We have Cable with Apocalypse synergy that has regeneration and can hit pretty much like a truck. You have uh, Angela with the Odin synergy that has regeneration that can hit like a truck. What else? Colossus with Professor X synergy that has regeneration if you're running Suicide Masteries, um, and Willpower that can hit like a truck. So there's a lot of champions in the game that do it. Not only do it for 30 seconds, they do it for the entire fight. So it makes this thing like really just not that good. I mean, the fact that he doesn't and what separates those champions that I mentioned is they have really a lot of utilities, on their by themselves. So I really think that, and also another thing, a downfall is when it comes to his region arc overload. For it to re-trigger, you have to fall below 15%, right? It doesn't make sense that if you're like at 14%, you're not going to be able to trigger it again because you're not falling below 15%. Another buff they could do is just maybe get rid of, say, drops below. Instead, after a cooldown, it goes after the cooldown expires, it just be below 15%. That'd be a nice thing to have. Or instead of doing that, they could just say, which is, I think, in my opinion, will probably be better. If they have something like a similar to Luke Cage, where he gains an indestructible buff when falling below 15% health. So, and let's say it's Sig 1, it has a, what do you call this? A 2 second duration, max Sig, 4 second duration, and cooldown Sig 1, 40 second duration, or even 60 second duration, I wouldn't mind. And then 30 second cooldown duration at max Sig. So that would be nice for him to have for his signature ability because, like I said, this when it comes to synergy with Red Goblin, it's not. It wouldn't work if you. What is this? If you're below 15%, this synergy is pretty much useless. Another thing, like I said, like it's only for 30 seconds, where other champions that have synergies that can do this for the entire fight, and they not only that, they have more utilities than Iron Patriot. So if it was only for 30 seconds, I really think this should, you want him to be like the hardest hitting champion in the game, at the very least, top 5, to be the hardest champion. Okay, so this, I feel like instead of 300 seconds, they could have made it like 500. Instead of 300%, they could have made it like 500%. I don't know, but I don't know if that would make him. I don't think that would make him broken because he doesn't really have much utility. So if it was damage was his main point, it would be actually pretty decent for him. So another thing they could have done instead of the synergy they have, which I just with Red Goblin, is they could make it modified instead of when it comes to 300% increased attack. I believe is base attack, not modified attack. If that was modified, that would make Iron Patriot so much better. Like, so that could make him like, if you make him more suicide friendly for him to hit harder, or like, like throw boosts at him. So instead of, increasing and then increase the attack by 300%, that will make him hit like a truck. Another thing they could have done is inflict guarantee an armor break for all special attack. So in this case, if you throw a special attack 1, a special attack 2, it doesn't gain there's no guaranteed on the armor break. So and special attack 3 has no armor break. So I think all special attack should have an armor break. This will increase his damage output. And instead of one attack to gain an armor buff, it should be all attacks. I guess maybe it'll be too OP. I couldn't understand because of his armor rating. It looks like it's 34, 35, 71. That seems really, really strong. So if it's all attack, that could barely be too OP. But then again, if he says all attack, it's only for 6 seconds, right? It doesn't stack. So it doesn't, I think it's very reasonable if it's all attack, considering that it doesn't stack. It's only one armor up buff. So I feel like it should be all attack. And then, so what buffs can they do? So what they could do is pretty much, number one is instead of drops below 15%, they could just say below 15%, the regain the arc reactor. Or if not, they do give him like something like a Luke Cage ability where he falls below 15%, that he gains, or at 15%, he gains an indestructible buff. That would be nice. Instead of when attack, they should be all attacks. All special attacks should have an armor break. That would be definitely helpful for him. Also, when it comes to synergy with Red Goblin, it should be modified, in my opinion. I really think that the synergy with Red Goblin should be modified. I believe this synergy, when increased attack rating by 300% for 30 seconds, it's only base attack, not modified. So if that was modified, that would be really nice for Iron Patriot. So to come to a conclusion, what do I think about I am Patriot. Should he get a buff? I definitely think he does. I think when it comes to like champions, he's definitely one of the worst, especially by his own. Thank you guys.